Alright guys, welcome to Game 1 here of the NACL Super Week. I am Egad and joining me here in studio to bring you the amazing action that is this brand Ireland that vVv is whipping out for tonight. But yeah, we're getting into the early game and we're going to see where they look to go.
Now, we didn't mention this before, but there's so much synergy with Zyra, Brand, and Nidalee, actually. If Nidalee lands a spear, or if Brand lands a stun, actually that would be the special one. If Brand lands a stun or Zyra lands a root, that sets up Nidalee spears, that sets up the hard initiation from vVv, and they can very easily erase someone from the map. So it's going to be a very cool situation if they can set up that perfect siege at some point. However, Porpoise Pops might be making some friends.
Yeah, they could come around, but they're not going to check out that brush just yet. They wouldn't think that he'd be in there, so they will walk around. They're going to get spotted out going towards the blue. We might see a ward get dropped out there, as Daydreamin did start with, I think that's 3 green wards. We see Nintendo X dodge away from a spear without knowing it. Porpoise Pops does just hit him with that excessive force, and they will just walk right on out there. And I'm interested to see what Nintendo X is going to do in this jungle, where he's going to go, what's going to prioritize. vVv, though, maybe looking for a little bit of a counter on this blue. They will back up as it's going to be Zombie Brand and Haunted Zyra, the nice little Halloween skins for the bot lane.
They'll win the lane just completely out of spooking Coast. That is my prediction. Just mad scoops. Spooks. And scoops.
Mad scoops. Scoops of what, ice cream?
Oh. Scoops of fear and fire. And also some plants, too. Now, we do see Gotcha going back towards base. Silent Spartan was retreating for a second as well, but looks like you might have that 1v1 top lane as Silent Spartan just spamming the recall animation on his ribbon skin.
Looks pretty cool either way, the championship ribbon. We're going to have a red start here for Porpoise Pops, as well as a blue star for Nintendo X, who looks like he doesn't need any help, so he's not even going to get a leash. They're just going to let him consume it, smite it, and be on his merry way. Cheese Beluga went for a very heavy sustain start in this mid lane and does get harassed out and will be forced to use some of that early on. He's just waiting to use a little bit more of his mana.
And yeah, he's getting torn up quite a bit by Shifter. Shifter using that early LeBlanc damage. Something you've seen quite often is LeBlanc will start Distortion level 1 and just use that to dive into the enemy AP mid. And that is incredibly high base damage at level 1. It's a long cooldown, but still 130 damage from a spell at that point in the game is tremendous. Maybe like 120, but still.
The damage is going to be huge either way. We do see Zion Spartan and Snuggle just trading back and forth. He just pops Burn out and goes through everything Zion Spartan wants to throw at him. It's orange shield for him, red pot for Zion, so he's going to look for some kind of all-in, potentially earlier on, and try to pick up a kill if he can. Or maybe get some help from Nintendo X, who is doing his red, as well as now Descendant's whiffing down bottom. Root does connect in response, still Tails at level 2, so no stun for him. And now that they hit level 2, they can probably look to try to capitalize on something like that again. There was a ward over by the blue buff, and we did see Shifter harassing Porpoise Pops just a little bit.
You can really see the power of the Tails Gotcha combination. Actually, no, aggression on the Gotcha.
Wow, Ignite gets dropped out there. Slow Plant just willing away onto Daydreamin. The Ignite was dropped in exchange for that root, but Gotcha still holding onto all the summoners. And we're seeing that power early on. The supports that don't have too much magic resist will get torn up by that lane.
That's unfortunate for Gotcha. I mean, he is at 40 man mark. He has a decent amount, but he's just so squishy to Wiz Fusion, especially with the burst damage Sivir can provide with that auto attack reset. It's going to be a rough lane. You can see Coast, they want to kind of keep on the push because Sivir will have more AD and more pushing potential. Compare that to Brand, who will have to use mana to try and keep the wave pushed out. So as long as they're keeping the momentum in lane in terms of minions, they will have an advantage when they can pressure.
Yeah, we do have. Actually, I noticed that a Spell Thief's Blade was actually picked up for Gotchi, so the spells that he hit got him the extra 4 gold, as well as the auto attack. And I wonder if he's going to actually build that into the final item and apply that slow on activation with the targeting.
That would actually be a really good pickup. Normally you see the coin would also be amazing for the move speed, but that would actually be a solid pickup just because if they do land in initiation, they have even more follow-up. Like, I think if they want to focus on the siege, you can get the coin for escape, the coin for the chase, or go for the final spell thief. It actually might be an all-in up top as actually Zion Spartan will back up.
It's just that same old noodle fight, just slapping each other back in the face, and sustaining back up like usual. All the potions are down for Zion Spartan, the orange shield still taken away. Gotcha, looking for a root. Wiz Fusion does get a nice little shield to stop that from happening. And fairly early on, no aggression. The junglers are just kind of farming up, and if Porpoise Pops can get level 6, we could potentially see a gank in any lane, while Nintendo X could just Blood Boil and use that absolute 0 at a counter gank if he wants. We do just have a little bit of a lull here, as it's going to be a bit of a farm fest for these first couple minutes.
You can see Tails and Gachu trying to position themselves for some aggression. It's just so hard to do it reliably. However, we might have a meeting of two junglers up in top lane, and Nintendo's coming through the river. Porpoise Pop's looking up through his lane as well.
Okay, so Zion Spartan gonna look to possibly pop his red pot and go all in here. Gets the stun off. Nintendo's coming back in, applies Blood Boil. There is a flash and a Vault Breaker, but that does not connect on a Zion Spartan, so he will be able to just walk right on out there. Porpoise Pop's just barely missing that one. Nintendo's now getting traded on. Ignite gets dropped. Zion Spartan does pop the red pot, tries to go in, but gets ignited and responds and backs right on out. So Summoner's trading back and forth, as well as a lot of harass here. Nintendo X is going to try to hold this turret, I guess, against both of them. Zion Spartan's still at about 150 HP. A Vault Breaker and a few auto attacks could take him out, but it looks like vVv is going to take it safe, not go for a dive, and just back on out.
All right, really, really odd exchange, and we actually have two different trades going on, one financial, one in terms of summoners. vVv Blue both flash, ignite, and the flash of Porpoise Pops try and survive that fight. Unfortunately, Porpoise Pop's not able to land what would have been a, I believe, 1200 or so range Vault Breaker, if not more. And then you compare that to Zion Spartan. Zion Spartan only blew his ignite. Smite, of course, on Intended X was used as well, just to try and keep the lane pushed out, but not a big deal. However, what's going to matter is that he used that red potion and he didn't get a kill. So now Zion, to maintain control of the lane, he's going to have to just keep applying pressure, keeping control, and make sure that he can try and at least get some of the difference back in that red potion that is essentially worth nothing at this point if he doesn't get a kill, or at least get a minion lead in terms of farm. Got to be a difficult lane for both sides, though.
Yeah, he does have that minion lead, so he built a pickaxe, but Chain Vest from Snuggle, so looking for the Sunfire Cape as his first pick, as it is standard for that to happen. Now, we haven't really talked about mid lane. Shifter is kind of dominating in the CS lead by about 21, and still sitting on the Doran's ring. He hasn't gone back just yet. Probably going to see the DFG rush for him, and then the attempt at the one-shotting these double AP carry bot.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see Shifter go for the aggressive build rather than farm. This would be a very farm-oriented lane just because Cheese Beluga does have his heal, does have a lot of mobility as Nidalee, despite the root from Shifter being able to keep most champions in place. Nidalee can kind of get around that with her leap. Still, he's dealing so much pressure and early harass that Cheese Beluga has not been able to A, stop the push, and B, deal with that pressure and damage. As Intended X is forced out of the jungle, but Porpoise Pops wisely not going to be running towards that level 6 LeBlanc.
Yeah, it does not want to do that. When we do have Zion Spartan rotating towards mid, while Wiz Fusion and Daydream still keep the pressure underneath turret for Tails, there was a ping to show out Cheese Beluga in the mid lane as it looked like a 3-man dive attempt, but now Daydream gets harassed out a little bit, drops the Ward Totem Ward, and they will back at us. Now buffs have reset, and 7 minutes in, no first blood, so very, very passive game.
It's very even right now, very equal. I would have loved to see Zion Spartan go for that dive. It made a lot of sense because he has a red potion tick, and it's like, alright, we have a super tanky Ribbon with mobility, with a shield. Why not go for a crazy Diamond Cheese Beluga? However, they spotted out Intended X. And actually, Cheese Beluga does not get hit by the chains. That could have definitely been a kill, or at least a flash burn from Shifter.
As we do just keep on seeing this fight over and over again. Blue buff is going to be passed over to Cheese Beluga with the help of Porpoise Pops, who will go back to bases. He's dangerously low. And Nintendo X does not give his over to Shifter, so... Actually, no, he did give his over to Shifter, excuse me. That's what he used to trade earlier on. Is heading towards his red and maybe going to attempt for a gank at top.
Getzel taking a lot of damage topside. This is just a passive game in terms of big map plays. Like, Nintendo X can't really go for a huge gank on some of the, for example, Nidalee, and bot lane's going to be a ward, so it's difficult for Noon to really go in there. Porpoise Pops himself is very mobile, so it's hard for him to do a lot besides consume creeps in the jungle. And you can see that Nintendo X is not really able to do a whole lot besides pressure top lane. And it's kind of the same thing for Porpoise Pops. Mid lane is just too far behind. A non-level 6 gank bot lane would be difficult just because of the spell shield on Sivir being able to block the initial CC from Zyra, and Thresh, if he stays far back, will be perfectly fine and provide that lantern for escape. Top lane, though, gets snuggled. Just ults on out of there, having none of that business.
He's like, yeah, you're gonna pop your ults with the big sword. I'm just gonna turn into a dragon and fly out. But we do have Nintendo X coming in. It's gonna be a dash in as well as a stun. Broken Wings to chase this one down. Gonna get the knockup on Get Snuggled. He does not have flash available to him. He drops Ignite, but absolute zero. Gonna pick up the first blood for Nintendo X.
And Zion Spartan, that last second dash, it was one more tick on Ignite, and that would have killed him. Does survive that at the last possible moment. Unfortunate for Get Snuggled, got a bit too aggressive, and now this is going to be a scary lane for him. However, the advantage is that Zion Spartan did spend that 350 gold. Actually, Shifter now in a bit of danger. A little distortion over the wall, but guess what? Cheese Beluga looking for some chase.
Alright, so pounces and spears come in. Procs the passive. Tails, and Tails actually popping Ghost and chasing after him, while Gachu is going to zone away with Fusion and Daydream, and they will not be able to pick up the kill on Shifter, who does use the ultimate up distortion to get out of there. And now a dragon attempt here from the side of vVv. Nintendo Dex is almost over there. He's going to blood boil himself, and he has Flash Smite and Consume available. Can look for that plants to zone out, but it looks like this is going to be a fairly easy dragon for vVv, as Coast do not want to contest it.
I love that Ghost from Tails. That was an awesome Ghost because there was one of two things that could have happened. If Shifter misplayed and did not split up his clone from his LeBlanc, he could have forced that flash, or he could have tried to ult the clone and have that bounce to LeBlanc.
Yeah.
If Shifter didn't play like in a quick response, he would have just gotten blown up. Luckily, he moved the clone to the side. Still, Tails able to blow that flash on LeBlanc. Definitely an important skill for her, just because you need that bit of surprise, that bit of burst, and just map control abuse if you have that extra bit of range when it comes to her initiation onto a random squishy target. Still, 1,400 gold to 14.7k, or 14,000 to 14.7k on Coast. Top lane is going to be the dangerous lane now for vVv, as Get Snuggled has fallen a bit far behind. That CS difference is more or less equal because of the red potion spent, but now with Silent Spartan getting some help from Nintendo Dex, Get Snuggled is going to have so much trouble just CSing and staying relevant in the lane. He's level 9, he has caught up to Zion Spartan, but it's still a difficult lane, especially if Ribbon has his push control now with that TMF pickup.
Yeah, and with the Blood Boil as well as Red Buff Harass from Nintendo Dex with the Ice Blast, this lane is going to push very easily. Snuggled is going to have Porpoisops coming in, Assault and Battery is available, he's going to get a ton of damage on his Zion Spartan, does eat the Ice Blast, but Porpoisops showing himself now will guarantee him a little bit of safety, as well as keep Zion Spartan on his toes. Up in the mid lane, though, there was the makings of the DFG for Shifter picked up, as well as the Chalice of Harmony and Double Thorns for Cheese Blue, and a lot of sustain in those other items. So, gonna look to see where they want to build from here. After the DFG is done for Shifter, could look for finally Boots, as he usually does not build Boots early on.
Yeah, Boots and LeBlanc are one of those things that, yeah, they're useful. Like, there's a benefit to them, but she has so much mobility early on, and most champions won't have their Boots too, or even if they do, she can deal with it with her own CC. That doesn't really matter. Like, you can get by not having Boots on LeBlanc, you just have to make sure you position yourself well in terms of things like ganks and positioning for stuff like that. Really, though, I love now that Cheese Beluga is trying to keep his own pressure applied. He knows if he ever lets Shifter get control of the lane in terms of minion push, he just will have to either go into Cougar form, which is dangerous because then Shifter can punish that immediately after a leap, or he can just go ahead and try and pressure him, try and stay pushed out, and make it dangerous for Shifter to go too aggressive.
Ooh, a ton of damage being applied on the Daydream, the Root, and the double plants coming in. The double zombie hands, I guess you could say. Slapping a Daydreamer up there. Zion Spartan does, after a very aggressive and persistent push, get that tier 1 in the top lane. Porpoisops is going up to respond to him, though, as he looks to go with the Vault Breaker. Gonna go in with a ton of damage, but Zion Spartan is responding. There's the Assault and Battery as well as the Dragon's Ascent doing a ton of damage to him. He's gonna try to loop around and pick up a kill on Porpoisops, but he does flash into that third brush on the side towards the red turret. Descendant's not connecting the God Lane on the God Shoe, so he's able to just walk on out of there. But a really good gank to Porpoisops on Zion Spartan, who was kind of overextending after that turret was taken out.
Actually, really good positioning for vVv on the map as well. That Dragon already down. They can just take this top lane very safely, not worry about Nintendo Dex roaming towards Dragon, picking that up quickly. You can see him right now, spotting out that pink ward and having to take it on out. With that kill, with that turret being taken out, a great equalizer. Get Snuggle is essentially back on pace with Silent Spartan, and maybe he can lane against him. It's going to be hard to deal with a Ravenous Hydra Ribbon, no matter what your champion is, but he might have a Sunfire Cape finish, which will could completely equal out that top lane. Very, very, very solid game from Porpoisops. If Zion Spartan had been able to survive that, or even kill Porpoisops in exchange, that would have been amazing for Coast, but now, this map's been completely equaled out.
Yeah, so even in gold, just about 400. Blue buff going to go over to Cheese Beluga as a red buff attempt steal from Nintendo Dex over there. With Fusion forced to use a shield and stopped his back. Oh, Destinance actually connects through the back from Daydream. Boomerang Blade as well, but a lot of burst damage coming in through from the Brand. The Zyra passive does connect as well into his Fusion, but he takes the Lantern, gets away from the stun from Brand. And that'll be a 1-for-none with a really interesting kind of bait from Daydream in there.
Hey man, you land that Death Sentence on someone like Gachu, someone like Tails, they get blown up so fast, but you can see the power there. They almost were able to take out both champions. Both Daydream and Wiz Fusion went down incredibly low, incredibly quickly. If there didn't be any more pressure, Get Snuggled might be going down, or might just be taking a bit of harass.
Yeah, that distortion, I don't think it's actually too high level right now. It's level 3, but it didn't really chunk away too much. The Signal of Silence as well as the Mimic Signal of Silence just doing a ton of damage with the Ethereal Chain attaching out to that one, so just Shifter abusing that early game damage that LeBlanc has, as well as the amazing scaling she's going to have later on. I'm excited to see if he's going to be able to pull off multiple one-shots.
Now, that was a really cool power play because it just let Zion Spartan push more top lane. Like, that was not a go for a kill type move. I thought it might have been just because, you know, DFG come out. That is LeBlanc's longest cooldown at 60 seconds. So you expect either a follow-up for a kill, but by allowing Zion Spartan to push more top lane, you allowed him to get into the turret and actually get into the jungle. He might be in a bit of danger, though.
All right, Zion Spartan going to get knocked out by the Vault Breaker. He's going to use his Broken Wings, but it's not enough, and the Dragon's Descent. The Swag Dragon, as I said yesterday, for the kill.
The Swag Dragon just going right over him, picking him up. Not even getting the drag off. That was just complete.
Yeah, just
to death. No movement.
Flew right on over him. It's like Free Willy. Oh god, Free Willy Shyvana skin, please.
Oh my god. Turn into a whale for that brief moment. Just wander everywhere. That would be fantastic.
That'd be awesome. All right, well, now we need to just pitch the idea and get someone to doodle it. If someone does, tweet it at either me or Studio. That'd be awesome. And meanwhile, with Fusion, he went back to base. He's got a BT stacking up, as well as pushing this tier 1 turret, getting dangerously low. Porpoise Boss was pinged on, but Nintendo X is coming around from the back.
They don't call them killer whales for nothing.
They do not.
Yeah, back to the actual gameplay. LeBlanc, looking for Cheese Blue. Can't get those ethereal chains to land on her. It's the most important skill for LeBlanc to land, essentially, if you can land those chains on someone like an 18 mid that will build Chalice and have magic resist. Because without those chains, it becomes so difficult just to get follow-up auto attacks and actually get the burst to kill someone, especially in Italy, that will have a leap. Even if you toss out that Sigil of Silence, you can usually get one off. Dragon is back up. Porpoise Pop's looking to take it out quickly. A lot of damage. Spears are just chunking through that. Shifter going forward, though.
Wow! Shifter going with the Mimic Distortion as well, following that up and just one-shotting Godshoe right there. He didn't even have a chance to get towards the pit. Shifter, that's one shot. I want to keep a tally of how many one-shots he gets this game, if he gets that many. But so far, 1. But they lose Dragon, so the gold lead does transfer over to vVv.
Not a huge difference. I can see that it's still relatively even in terms of gold gain from that, but the experience is going to be the huge advantage for vVv. And picking up a support, alright, it does stop some of the gold income coming in from Godshoe, but really he's going to be building most likely a Liandry's. And with that Liandry's Torment, her base damage will be incredibly high just from that percentage damage burn. Actually, might be double Liandry's coming in from Brand as well. It does have 100.
Oh, they're going in on Daydream! He gets stunned up there. That's going to be a kill for Porpoise Pops, the excessive force for the kill. They landed a beautiful Brand stun and then followed up with a spear, and Porpoise Pops is like, you know what, I'll add on to this one too, and just goes in with the Assault and Battery, and they pick up the kill. Very simple.
You just land one skill, so much comes up afterwards. With Fusion could be in some danger too.
Oh, he got the stun through the hunt right now. A lot of movement speed comes in. The Pyroclasm is popped and bounces twice. A nice bounce from that one. Can they get it though? Ghost, Flash, and Fireball to the face, as well as the stun and auto attack gets Tails 1 kill, and they go 2 for none in that bot lane. Beautiful play. Oh, and she's Beluga gonna get blown up as well through the Ignite from Shifter and the whole combination.
I mean, that was just Shifter saying, alright, I'm a blow. I don't have my Ignite, I just have my TFG and my combo. I can still kill you. You can't pull me. If I land it, you're dead. And that was just actually an ouch coming out from Cheese Beluga in chat. However, that Brand CC, that Brand CC is pivotal. You can also rely on Zyrus a bit, but I'd actually say Zyrus is a bit trickier to land. Has a bit of a cast animation people expect. Of course, Shifter now able to escape, get snuggled in that mid lane. But if Brand lands at 2-second CC, there is so much good follow-up. Whether it be initiation from Porpoise Pops, the Vault Breaker, whether it be a root from Zyra, a Cheese Beluga Spear, like if they can really incorporate this, like Brand, you know, we've seen him a bit from Curse Academy. He's been popping in every now and then, but you know he's got so much utility, CC, and damage. He might be like a top pick.
We're going to see a chase to Nintendo X here. Does not dodge the stun, pounced on, bitten, and Godshoe picks up one. That's going to help him scale out. He's got a Haunting, guys. He's got boots. He's building a potential Melanomicon with that Fiendish Codex, even the tier 2 of the gold item for the AP. But meanwhile, Wiz Fusion and Daydream do get some alone time in that bot lane and do take down the turret. But now a 2-man push coming in from vVv. Gonna push out this mid lane, but Shifter still has that one-shot potential. Flash is in, forcing the flash out of Godshoe. And wow, alright, so almost one-shotting him, but forcing a flash out in response will leave him open for another attempt, as the cooldowns on Shifter are much lower than the cooldowns on Godshoe.
That was definitely a big whoopsie moment for Shifter there. Like, he was going forward, going aggressive, but he actually got hit by one of the slowing plants from Godshoe, so he moved forward, busted out the flash, and he still really wasn't in range, despite using Distortion immediately afterwards.
Look at Tails! Oh, actually, Shifter got very low as well. He's going to run away. Flash Spear comes in, does not connect. He will be able to walk out of there. We do see Zion Spartan getting initiated on. Right here, the dot damage is taken away. He's forced to flash over the wall to avoid the root and any other kind of potential for vVv to catch him out. Now a 3-man push, 4-man push actually coming in up top. The Spear, almost connecting. Wisfusion going to be zoned out from the bot lane by Porpoise Pops. He shields, but does not connect the Vault Breaker. We're going to see the wave get cleared out there very fast and easily by Porpoise Pops. But up top, the tier 2 does go down, and vVv snag that one up for a very, very easy tower push and net themselves a nice little gold lead still.
That's actually something vVv has been doing. They've been abandoning their bot lane for the most part. Like, Porpoise Pops is back there to hold it, but he's a Vi trying to survive a push against both Sivir and Thresh. And actually does get hit by the Death Sentence.
The box is popped, the Flay is dropped as well as Ignite. He's going to flash away, and it looks like they can't follow anything else up as Wisfusion did use the Boomerang Blade, and is kind of low on mana, so they will choose to play it safe and go back as Tails and Godshoe did make their way down to the bot lane to help out Porpoise Pops. So, nice survival there by Porpoise Pops as well as defending the tier 2.
Camera zoomed in immediately on Cheese Beluga missing a leap, which is the most unfortunate thing for it to cut to. But, they were giving up a lot and risked a lot by leaving Porpoise Pops alone down there. Like, he was able to clear the wave, and that was going to be the focus, use excessive force just to try and push the minions back as quickly as possible. And their main goal was, take another lane. They don't want to try and have a passive farm off, because passive farm off versus a Sivir Thresh lane, they just take control because of Sivir's amazing push. So, I do like what they've been doing. Like, alright, Sivir can push down bottom, she can try and push the turrets quickly. If we just stall, not even save the turret from a lot of damage, we can do a lot of work.
Shifter just barely missing out on the Ethereal Chain there, trying to catch out Cheese Beluga for the one-shot again. I've actually been playing LeBlanc support, and with the way this patch works out, it's really fun. Just get a Sight Stone and build a DFG and just go crazy. It's really ridiculous. We do see a little bit of a group coming in from vVv now. 2 members from Coast holding onto this turret. Shifter looking for some more assassination potential. He has the Ward of the Side. The plant is shown, but no one else is showing, as he's going to wait to use Distortion to get in, and going to play it patient, sees no one, will go back into the lane and be just fine, and get snuggled, kind of down on CS from Zion Spartan, who does have the Ravenous Hydra and Last Whisper now, so he is a deadly force.
I love seeing vVv on the minimap. Like, they have 3 members moving towards the bot lane, then the Lantern came out from Daydream and pulled back, was huge, and immediately all 3 members just turned around, except for Porpoise Pops, who was already in the lane. Tails, actually.
Stand still. That takes some serious cojones. But now Cheese Beluga actually going to get to live through this one. Porpoise Pops over the side of the wall, gets the Vault Breaker, Assault and Battery pounce in, and it's going to be Shifter falling and transferring a blue buff over to the Beluga. While down bot, Godshoe does use the Stranglethorn to zone away and keep that turret safe, as well as, we didn't talk about this, but there's a lot of AoE wave clear for Tails and Godshoe in this lane. They can hold turrets very well.
Actually, a lot of AoE wave clear in general. The only person who doesn't have a lot of AoE wave clear
Invisible Dragon.
Beluga. Beluga in human form. Like, everyone else has a bunch of wave clears, so it's pretty cool to see that vVv is playing very aggressively across the map with constant defense from the minion waves with their own AoE clear to keep turrets alive. Well, think about how long this Fusion has been bot lane for Daydreaming. Actually get snuggled down Spartan, duel up top lane, get snuggled, get the better of him though.
Dragon's Ascent as well as Blade of the Rune King. He Dragon's Ascent his way back out of there. While down bot, it's going to be Daydreaming running away with the Dark Passage out to shield him up. The Dot is not going to be able to take him out, so they get through there with a Talisman of Ascension as well. Actually, no, that was Nintendo X's Talisman Ascension as he rushed that item instead. Huh. So that leaves Daydreaming open for an early rush into Mikhail's Crucible, which it looks like he's doing.
I like it. I like that quite a bit.
Utility Nunu.
Yeah, the Utility Nunu. It's a Nintendo Dex thing to do. He tends to not necessarily always build utility, but he does like to do that now and then. It's something that he was a big Nunu player, even when he was a little less popular. So seeing him go for the full utility, this is going to be a team comp based quite a bit, just Wisfusion trying to carry. Now the question is, can Wisfusion get his damage up to par quickly enough? There's a lot of mid-game spike potential, and if you look at the item builds from Tails and Cheese Beluga, you can see, they're both going for the same style of build. Once those Death Cap, now Spartan actually just getting destroyed again one more time topside.
Twin Fang's going to be up really soon. Throws out the breath, but is he going to chase it down? Shifter is coming. They're going to look to clear out a pink ward at the entrance of this red right now. There was a ping onto Shifter as he's trying to sneak around the side, but Get Snuggle could survive. He's very tanky right now. Assault and Battery actually on him. Nintendo Dex. Not much of a follow-up, though. He pops the Talisman of Ascension to get away from the Spear. Up top, though, Get Snuggle going to actually get one shot. Actually, almost one shot. Dragon's Descent. Auto attacks. Ignite is ticking. One more Distortion. It's going to be a flash and a Signal of Silence from Shifter to pick up the kill, as no one is actually safe. I thought he'd lived through a burst combination, but guess not.
No magic for this.
It's true. He picks up a Negatron Club now, though.
Yeah, now he's got some. And actually, mid-turret now in danger. A lot of time was voted topside. And Zion Spartan himself was relatively low now, pushing that top wave. So they're losing mid-turret. They're going to push in top turret. Can Zion pick it up in time, though? Will he die for this push?
I think he should be able to pick it up in time. She's blue and
I'm going to
power
try.
No, alright, so he's going to back off. That's fine. Mikhail's Crucible now has been completed by Daydreamin', so no Roots or Brighton Stone's going to last any longer now. Does it... It wouldn't pull off Vi's ultimate, right? That's only QSS. Oh, does QSS even do that?
No, it's a weird targeted knockup. It cannot be removed by anything. Like,
Weird.
Unless you kill Vi. Kill Vi before she reaches her target, and then the knockup won't apply. If she reaches it, she can die midair, and the corpse will just pull them up on the way up, I guess. It's kind of grim at that point. But regardless, the Fusion finally achieves his life goal, life dream. He takes out that bottom inner turret. He's been down there forever, and there's been so much wave push that he just hasn't been able to do anything, but it did cost him his inner turret in the mid lane. So this is like a weird game of turret exchange. Over vVv, because they have so much better defense, at least earlier on in the game, they can definitely just try and outpush, try and outmaneuver across the map compared to Coast.
Yeah, and we do now see some wording over towards the Baron Pit. Shifter being a sneaky snake and waiting on the side of the bottom brushes, looking for Tails, but Tails is not biting. Actually, no, Tails might bite. He sees him come in, and they will just back out. Three people grouped up in mid from the side of Coast. Shifter in the bot lane right now. Tails in the brush, being sneaky. Shifter's not going to go back, though. Looks like they will see the word come through from Shifter, but he will see him on the minion wave. He's going to look to go into Distortion, but he backs right on out as Nintendo X going to clear out the wards with his sweeping lens. It does time out, though, so he is able to get alive. Root connects to the mid lane, but Tails down bot. Going to try to blow up Shifter. It's not enough. Porpoise Pops will pick up the kill, though, with the excessive force assault and battery combination. And Tails sacrificing himself for the greater good to get Shifter killed again.
Oh, she blew the hip in the mid lane. Can he survive this?
The box and the flake comes through. The Stranglethorn to disengage. They flash away from the knockup. And Porpoise Toss coming from the side does just Vault Breaker through the wall. Gets slowed out a little bit, but still 1-for-1 overall. We do have Get Snuggle coming in from the side. Looks like they'll just apply Bubble to Wiz Fusion and back right on out as New Bot goes where he pleases. We'll be walking back up this lane as Snuggled and Porpoise Pops kind of gonna look to counter jungle just a little bit with 1 minute and 40 left on this dragon still.
That might have been a chance for Coast to go for a team fight. Shifter already having killed Tails meant that, guess what, that brand CC, which I think is going to be imperative for Zion Spartan to avoid, was already ignored. But they said they play a bit more passively, play a bit more defensively. They are behind in gold, and you can tell, they can tell. So this is a really odd situation because in terms of a straight up team fight, I'm pretty sure it's going to go to vVv very easily. They can control Zion Spartan. They can burst down targets very efficiently. The question becomes, can Shifter take out someone like Tails? And actually, now Coast going for the dual Baron. I mean, the Dex can tank this quite easily. Zion Spartan's got his shield as well. If they don't get spotted now, they're getting this for free.
Looks like they are getting this for free. Nobody is coming over from vVv, and we forgot to talk about how Nunu is a early game Baron god. They will end up seeing the buff go into the mid lane. It does go down, Smite and Riven, and Zion Spartan actually picks it up. So now vVv are like, oh, they snuck a Baron. Death Status connects on the Cheese Beluga right now. Flayed in. Not enough crits from this Fusion, but there will be a spear that connects. He's going to shield, but not connect with anything else. This tier 1 in the mid lane is going to go down while she gets snuggled in the bot lane, trying to push down to tier 2. So Baron up Coast at 28 minutes, looking to pressure their advantage as much as possible, especially with Wiz Fusion with 280 CS, so on that perfect CS route.
I have a question. That question is Get Snuggled dead?
We'll find out.
Dead.
It's going to be a red buff slow applied. Get Snuggle going to use Dragon's Descent towards the turret. Pops the burnout, eats the turret shot, and Blade of the Rune King will keep him barely alive. He's going to sustain off a melee minion, but a nice little swift whack to the head picks up the kill for Zion Spartan there, and now he is a monster that no one can actually deal with by themselves.
I do like that play from Get Snuggled. He knew that he was going to waste a lot of time just by trying to retreat. It meant Zion Spartan couldn't show up to the fight as quickly. I meant that if Shifter was trying to chase him, he would waste more time or not get the assist gold. So they've really lost control of the game for at least the next couple minutes with that Baron buff. You know, the Dragon's going down now. Coast, they made the one sneaky play, but Baron buff on a team like this, you know, that makes LeBlanc Burster. Nintendo X is going to be so difficult to kill. Even though he's not that tanky, just his raw HP and utility means he's going to be fast and be mobile. He's regenerating a lot of HP. God forbid there's a minion nearby. And Zion Spartan, like you mentioned, no one can deal with him anymore. I think the Baron buff is the equalizer. I think if Get Snuggled was not going up against the Baron buff Ribbon, it would be a relatively even match. You know, one could escape, the other side would take a lot of damage. It depends if the jungler is nearby. But right now, with that extra damage, Riven's just devastating.
Don't forget, he's going to have, let's see, 30% lifesteal when that Bloodthirster is stacked up. And on top of the 80 he gets from the Blade of the Exile, let's see here, an extra 20%, so plus 73. It's going to be a ton of regeneration, a ton of auto attack healing.
And 38 auto attack damage.
Oh, jeez.
I think he needs Infinity just so we can see some sweet crits come out. Probably won't, though. And actually, no, that's not even factoring Riven's. Oh, that would be amazing, actually. I mean, it would be really good right now. It would not necessarily scale reliably in the late game, would be the one disadvantage, but damn, that would just shred through people. And you factor in the passive as well, he's going to be hitting for about 600 auto attacks. And then, of course, Riven has the rest of her kit as well.
Yep, and we'll see where they want to aggress from here, as Zion Spartan's going to be left alone in the bot lane. Shifter kind of moseying down there as well. Maybe going to look for a sneaky little catch potential. vVv now trying to secure their red buff for themselves. Nintendo X going to counter jungle a little bit there. Has the upgraded Oracle's Seeker, or Seeker's... The Oracle Seeker, I keep forgetting it. The Oracle's Lens, excuse me. Oh my god. I don't know why I keep calling it Seeker. But a Spirit is connected with Fusion, and he'll just find out.
Dale's not going to aggressive on Nintendo X. Can he escape this? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he can.
The Thresh Express.
The Thresh Express. I thought maybe they could burst him down before that CC wore off. Now Godshoe, he's taken out in a very dangerous position. A level 12 Zyra support Zyra versus a level 18 Riven. Godshoe has got to stay so far away from that Riven, it's not even funny.
Yeah, he'll be blown up in a matter of seconds. Shifter still hasn't shown himself just yet on the map, kind of just hanging around towards the waves and sitting back and waiting to see if Zion Spartan's going to get 5-man ganked or something like that. He's hanging around towards the red side of the jungle, while everybody else just popping shields and absorbing spears and just pushing down mid. Root connects, but there doesn't going to be any follow-up on that one. While gets snuggled with the Rune King's Wiz Fusion, but he does pop the hunt in response and will be turning around for a ton of damage. Boomerang Blade does connect Snuggled, and he taking out a half, but a nice heal coming in from Nidalee there will keep him healthy and safe. And still, Zion Spartan and Shifter doing their own thing, kind of looking to snipe some kills out as they want to pick them up. We do see an Oracle's a sweeping lens from Godshoe to clear out the ward in their base, and when it happens, Shifter's going to be able to blow up everybody. He's got Void Staff and almost a death cap.
Yeah, and Zion Spartan himself, like, they're looking for that safe moment to reliably engage, where Zion Spartan can flash. And actually, Chase from gets snuggled on Nintendo X, does some decent damage, but once that soul ball lands, even with the burnout on Get Snuggled, he just gets stopped. Like, he's moving at 100 move speed at that point. If Godshoe gets blown up, then they lose all their wave clear. They have to fight a 4v5. Zion Spartan and Coast can play their split push game and just control the map. They're just looking for that one snipe, either from Zion with a flash or Shifter with the LeBlanc Wombo combo.
LeBlanc Wombo combo is a nice sight to see. Very skill intensive, and let's see now as Nintendo X does eat the Spear. Assault and Battery comes through. He's standing on top of the Lantern. There is the Mikhail's Crucible to stop the stun at the end of that, and they will be able to pull him to safety as Shifter still on the side. There's pink wards dropped all over the place, so they will be able to see the ward being cleared out here by Godshoe and Tails. He decides not to go in, and will be spotted out there. Death Sentence is straight away from Tails. While Get Snuggled and Zion Spartan just going back and forth with this one. And Baron buff has faded, so they can hold this off for a little bit longer. Baron in a minute and 50. Maybe one team is going to prioritize that one and try to get the buff. But Tails will get Snuggled now, getting initiated on by Zion Spartan and chunked away as if his armor doesn't even matter. That last switch was just shredding through him.
You can see Coast, they almost lost their Nintendo X. They don't care, though. They just kept up the pressure, kept up the pushing. vVv, they can't be in every lane at once, and it's not so much about the wave clear anymore. The minions don't matter that much. If one minion is destroyed, they can apply 1 or 2 auto attacks. It's about the fact that Shifter's constantly forcing people to retreat just out of fear and defensiveness. If there's any sort of poke landing from, let's say, a Boomerang Blade, or, Nintendo X lands that Snowball, 1 or 2 auto attacks follow up from Wiz Fusion, they're just being out-pressured at this point. Coast, they're sitting up, they've got their push going on, they're staying spread out so vVv can't get a siege going, and can't just try and land spears and follow up after that, and vVv is just being outmaneuvered at this point. However, the pressure has stopped. Ghost finally going back to buy some items. A big problem too is that Get Snuggled. Like you mentioned, his armor doesn't matter. He doesn't have a lot. I mean, Shyvana does have a lot naturally, but because Get Snuggled has built the Banshee's Veil to survive versus Shifter, because he built that Blade of the Rune King, he doesn't really have a lot of defense compared to, let's say, that Randuin's Omen, Sunfire Cape, Thornmail Renekton you see some games. And it's really showing.
It is showing. And X now clearing out the Baron side. They have the time around it. They will be looking to go for it as the wards are coming out. From vVv, they will be aware this time around there is a ward over the side of the wall, so it could be a sneaky Shifter attempt. But still, down bot, Zion Spartan going to be going back and forth to Get Snuggled here. Does pop the Banshees off, but Get Snuggled kind of winning out on this trade just a little bit. That shield, though, from Zion Spartan will keep him sustained through most of that, as well as all the lifesteal he has present in his build, as well as he's making towards the GA. And Baron spawning now. We will see X in the pit and ready to go as Zion Spartan is still going. Blade of the Rune King comes in, Dragon's Descent through the shield. There's going to be a ton of damage applied right now. Can he get the kill? It's going to be a flash away. And one more shield. He's going to turn this around. Gets the stun. The Dragon's pressing the flash with the Twin Fangs. The Dragon 4 picks up the kill. But now Gotchu going to get chased down here. And Shifter whiffing the combo. Cannot pick up the one-shot. While Porpoise Pops does make himself known over towards this Baron side. And the smite with Consume from X will pick up the kill. X is going to be the target for Porpoise Pops, but he's in 1v3, flashes into the wall, and there is Gotchu getting one shot now. As the hunt is activated, the Death Sentence connects on Porpoise Pops. Daydreaming will not go in. Shifter waiting on the side. He's got blue buff. Can he get the Mimic Distortion? It looks like no, but he will back on out. As the second Baron of the game will go over to Coast, with Shifter still hanging around towards that blue side. Ward gets dropped over the wall. They're going to try to give this one over to Tails right now. Get Snuggle has joined the fray. Cheese Beluga going to throw some spears. As well as X going to get pulled out by Lantern. The pounce chase from the Cougar form. Spear does not connect. Snuggle going to come in. Going to look to see as he pops the burnout. Spear connects on X. Doesn't do as much damage as I thought it was. A lot of magic resist on him right now. And that will be a, what was that, a global 1-for-1? Yeah, only one person died on each team. And yeah, we're back into seeing what vVv has to do to defend this Baron off. They're still down by about 3,000 gold, which isn't that much in this current patch. The game is staying relatively even, and they're going to go for a quick little dragon to get themselves some extra gold, as well as the builds coming through. We're looking to see a Randuin's Omen for Get Snuggled soon. We do see the makings of, that's a Hex Drinker, and maybe a Mama Mortis for Porpoise Pops later on. He's got another Chain Vest. Could go for GA or for his own Sunfire Cape. And Void Staff looking to be completed here for Cheese Beluga as Shifter going to be forced to Distortion and Mimic Distortion over the wall. But he's going to go back into Porpoise Pops, who does use Assault and Battery on this one. He will flash out and get away. The Spear comes through, hits the clone instead. And actually, Zion Spartan coming in with his GA now. Porpoise Pops going to use the Dragon's Descent and Blade of the Rune King to speed up and try to get out of there. Mikhail's Crucible used. Tails in the back line, though. Porpoise Pops gets pulled in by the Death Sentence. Is that going to be the pop on the GA? It looks like yes. As now, Zion Spartan going to come back in with a little bit of HP, but the chase is still on for Coast as Wiz Fusion will look to come in. The Death Sentence, the Thresh Express pulling in everybody that it can. The root goes in onto X. The Spear connects. Gotchu very slow. The Flash from Wiz Fusion does not connect, but the auto attack just blow him up. Tails going to get focused down by Zion Spartan, and the kill going over to Daydreaming. Death Sentence has to get Snuggled to keep Wiz Fusion safe, and he will end up falling down as a double kill and potentially an ace as Zion Spartan going to chase down Cheese Beluga here through this wave. Spear connects. He does not care. He ignores it. And now the 5-man push from Coast onto the inhibitor turret.
That is how much damage Zion Spartan has at this point in the game. He can absorb a full Nidalee Spear with just his dash, and that is the power of Coast comp. They have so much slow coming up from X. It's not necessarily about using that to hard initiate, using it to chase, as now Cheese Beluga might be in some danger.
Oh man, almost one shot there. Does get a pounce into the vase and will be able to get out of there as the inhibitor does fall.
But with the control that Coast provided, like they might be able to finish off the game now. It's going to be close. They have to really fight to defend. This is now Cheese Beluga. Doesn't get blown up. Porpoise Pops won't be surviving this exchange. That's four members down. GGs are coming out.
Yeah, should be game here. They'll be able to face tank this one up, use all the damage that they've acquired, and just take out the Surge very easily. Then the Nexus, absolute zero to clear out the rest of the wave. And that is going to be game one of tonight in the Super Week for NACL, going over to Coast in a very dominating fashion, and even some more one-shots coming in as Shifter's passive was popped. But GG.
I mean, Coast with their lineup, they did have that risk of being initiated on with all that hard